gunman, and Jeremy Hambley is here to talk about it. The one and only quartering. Do you think he's going to have anything reasonable to say? Because we have the truth about the shooter that he doesn't have. The truth you've been missing. For real, I do. I have the truth about the shooter. Let's see what he's got to say. Because there was a shooter in Michigan, if you saw, a church, a Mormon church, was attacked and burned to the ground during worship. And that was just outside of Detroit in Michigan.
Jeremy here from,
on
the
Sunday.
Jeremy Hambley channel. I had planned on taking the weekend off. I just got home from church, and so I had about 20 messages from my members Discord. By the way, make sure you get in there. I'll leave a link in the description below.
Jesus fucking Christ. There's your first ad already.
The news breaks there first. We had the second incident at a church in Michigan in the last 90 days alone, not including the incident at the church in Minneapolis. In the sense, that's 3 churches in the last 90 days. This is not a coincidence. I know I've only been to church 3 times now, but I don't think you have to be, a lifelong Christian to see that there is a war going on. It is against Christians, and a lot of people are saying, "Oh, it was an LDS church today." I don't think most people are smart enough to know the subtle nuances of the difference. I mean, Mormons still believe in Jesus Christ.
What? Why is he? Oh, so he's just fully speculating moments after it happened at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Everybody knows that that's a Mormon church. Everybody knows that's a Mormon church. This guy, he's just saying stuff. This is the video he put out on it so he could get clicks.
I'm certainly not as grizzled and been around in church long enough to hey, they believe in Jesus, I believe in Jesus, we're good. I
haven't been at church long enough to know. He literally goes as a LARP. Like, he just goes because he's MAGA. That's fucking nuts.
The story's been developing. I feel like we have enough information now to make a video. We'll probably have more information later, so make sure you subscribe.
We have enough information to make a video? That's the journalistic standard. Can I get 10 minutes out of this shit? Yes.
Now, in Grand Blanc, I think...
We call it Grand Blanc.
Is how you say it.
No.
1 has passed away and 9 wounded, and many more feared trapped in...
Michigan is formerly colonized by the French. And so a lot of the things are spelled French ways or native, and then we just flatten them. That's how most things are said here. French or native origin word... flattened by Caucasians. So Grand Blanc is how we say that.
In the church, this is a man with a truck. Now, there's conflicting reports. Someone said he drove into the front doors, and then there's pictures showing the truck with 2 what appear to be brand new American flags on it.
So he's saying the brand new American flags are a false flag thing? Okay. We're going to take stock of all of Jeremy's claims here, and then I'm going to utterly destroy him with facts and logic, okay? Okay, rightoids. Any rightoids watching? Get ready to get destroyed with facts and logic. If you dare to even stick around long enough to be proven wrong. I bet you're not. I bet you won't even press that like button. I bet you won't even fucking subscribe, coward.
Smashed into the side of the building. And so I don't know for sure if it was the front doors or the side of the building, but we do know that there was a truck that was rammed into the church and that there was an IED left in that truck, which was just removed. He also, I guess after the crash happened, people came out of the church. This is one of the most there's many heartbreaks in the story, but people came out of the church to help him because they thought it was an accident, and that's when he opened fire on them. We don't yet have a name. Again, I have another report of this former soldier.
We have a name.
Later today, who did something just as heinous yesterday.
Another former soldier. That's crazy. A totally different guy that was a former soldier. This guy was also a former soldier.
I wish I didn't have all this garbage to report today, but it's part of my job. He's as of yet unnamed. He's 40-year-old from Burton.
Racist ass town, Burton.
Rammed his truck, which had two large American flags in the bed, and the picture I saw looked brand new.
If they're brand new,
here's the truck. These are brand new.
They don't really look brand new. I don't know why you're saying that.
Look at the colors. These things are brand spanking new.
Why choose that spot to ram the truck? I mean, the guy wasn't very smart, obviously. It's just a brick wall. Just smashed his truck brick wall style. That's just so stupid. It worked, though. I mean, he burnt the whole fucking thing down. How fucking evil can you be? I mean, MAGA is evil. You're right. Spoilers.
And I entered the church and must have had something else with him too. There's some sort of incendiary device. Because the entire church got burned to the ground, and there's untold numbers of people that were stuck in the fire that we will not know the total toll here. This could end up being easily the worst attack like this in American history.
What? It's not even close.
So then maybe 9/11, there could be hundreds of people still in the church. I don't know.
Oh my God. Jesus fucking Christ. Jeremy. Oh my God. This could be worse than 9/11. Yes, he doesn't know. What the fuck is wrong with you? This is a grifter grifting as hard as he possibly can. He's like, if I can sensationalize this, if I can be a mini TMZ, maybe it'll work. Maybe I can do it. All right, now is the time. I think now is the time we just talk about who this guy actually is. His name was Thomas Sanford, a Marine veteran who killed at least 4 people and injured 8 others, almost a whole 9/11, at a Mormon church in Grand Blanc. It seemed to stem from a breakup with an LDS girlfriend more than a decade ago? Maybe. Maybe he had this need to express and let us know, hey, Mormons are bad. Mormons are the Antichrist, said Peter Tersigny, who has known Sanford since their school days and is still a close family friend. Police say that on Sunday, Sanford rammed his truck, and so he, of course, knew who the Mormons were. Rammed his truck into the Church of Jesus Christ, Latter-day Saints. He died in a shootout with officers, which was a police officer who showed up later and a DNR officer, which is weird. Sanford, 40, who served as a mechanic in the Iraq War, had a relationship with a woman in the LDS Church while he lived briefly in Utah. Sanford was also heavily abusing drugs at the time. That's actually pretty common. A lot of people in the LDS Church also are got meth things going on. After that relationship ended and Sanford moved back to his native Michigan, he would often discuss his hatred for the LDS Church, especially after he got drinking. He even spoke against the church at his own wedding, saying it didn't go down a good path. Sanford was known around his small Michigan suburb for his distinctive pickup truck, which he often drove with 2 American flags flying from behind him. In recent weeks, locals said Sanford began behaving oddly, nearly running over a longtime friend with his truck in a seeming joke, asking a local political candidate questions about his positions on guns, and then openly declaring his hatred for the LDS Church. Then, on Sunday morning, as neighbors took in the first reports of mass shooting at a nearby LDS church, they saw the photos. Sanford's GMC Sierra truck ran to the front of the burning building. Sanford's friends and acquaintances are now trying to piece together how he went from Marine veteran raising a child. Every time a white man does anything horrific, he was a Marine veteran father. Anytime it's anybody else, just total monster from start to finish. Local authorities, they have identified that this was an individual who hated people of the Mormon faith. So it's a hate crime. A few minutes into what had been a friendly conversation, a city council candidate met Sanford on the campaign trail and talked to him. What do you think about guns? And what do you know about Mormons? Sanford went on to voice negative views about the LDS Church and asking increasingly pointed and sharper questions about Mormon theology and history, and ultimately launching into inflammatory language about his hatred of the church. He was all about that shit. John said he was shocked and surprised by the intensity of Sanford's tirade, but that Sanford didn't voice any threats over the 15 to 20-minute discussion or give Johns any signs that he would turn violent. So just every time he had an opportunity to talk to anybody, he was like, by the way, fuck Mormons. What a freak. He did drugs once, so that must have been it. Some of his friends... A friend said he was a fun-loving family guy, but also he harbored unkind feelings towards certain groups. What a fun-loving family guy. Definitely talked about groups of people in ways that weren't acceptable. How do you mourn the death of someone who did something so terrible, she asked. Oh, look, a leftist. You know how these leftists are? Hunting? Police say Jason Allen, a Burton resident, told CNN even locals didn't personally know Sanford recognized his truck. With flags flying from the back, Sanford drove through town. You couldn't miss the truck. Sometimes, Sanford would switch one of his flags out for a fuck Biden flag. Look, I don't like Joe Biden, but only one group of people flies a fuck Joe Biden flag. MAGA. It's just a mental illness and a breakdown to her. The family hates what he did and they don't understand it. Sanford went by Jake and is an Iraq War veteran, outdoorsman. According to military records and social media posts, he grew up in Flint area and has lived in the suburbs of Burton for many years. Pattinson told WDIV that just 2 days before the attack, Sanford sped his truck at her and her 16-year-old daughter as they were crossing a street on foot, forcing them to jump back. Then the window rolled down and it was Jake. He was laughing. He's like, oh, got you guys. Wasn't normal behavior for him. Oh, feel so bad about the families that were affected by this. Aside from ours, we're not only the ones going through this devastation, we are beside ourselves. It's pretty standard stuff after this. Google Street View from his house shows a Trump-Vance campaign side on his home fence. He served as a sergeant and was deployed in Operation Iraqi Freedom. So yeah, I mean, pretty obviously a MAGA guy, just classic. With his fuck Joe Biden and hating the LDS Church. I'm just sure. There's no reason that he'd be mad at Mormons. And certainly not because the shooter of Charlie Kirk was a Mormon. Not connected. It didn't just roll him over the edge in the last couple weeks. That's not possible at all. Even though all his friends were saying he was acting strange in the last couple weeks. You know? Damn, dude.
No.
So he's just going to go on and speculate?
We know, people were probably hiding when the blaze started.
Why would the left do this?
I'm praying that report is wrong, but it doesn't look like it. Photographs shared on social media show a fire tearing through the church with a large plume of smoke over the head. Emergency vehicles could be seen parked outside. At least one person was carried away from the scene on a stretcher. The loser,
at least as bad as 9/11. Holy shit.
Who did this has not yet been publicly identified. A motive for the rampage has not been given. Obviously, we know. Now,
obviously we know.
With the other person last night, which would be my second video today, I don't know. That a person appears to be some sort of schizo ex-soldier who actually got, I think, some sort of head wound and had been filing all these lawsuits. Just a crazy person. I don't know that was necessarily ideologically driven, but when you would go after a church, I think it's pretty clear, especially the second one in 2 months or so in Michigan alone. So it goes on. Writing on social media, several witnesses said at least 4 people had not survived, though the police have not published that. I saw the police publish at least one. One witness said the church had been completely destroyed by the blaze and that they saw the loser's truck parked in front of the building. We do have multiple victims, the sheriff added. Police just before 1 p.m. as the fire had been contained. We do not know the names of the victims at this time. Again, I'm seeing reports. We don't know how many people were hiding in the church as the blaze ripped through it. The Daily Mail reached out to the sheriff's office. Michigan Governor Greg.
He says, I'm seeing reports. We don't know how many people were. He's not seeing reports. He's just saying things to try to pad the time.
Gretchen Whitmer condemned the atrocity. My heart is breaking for the Grand Blanc community, she wrote. Violence everywhere, especially in a place of worship, is unacceptable. Unless you're on the left, then of course it's totally fine.
This was done by a right-winger. We just showed you that.
I mean, this is something I've seen.
There's pictures of the guy's fucking house. Google Street View of his house. Boop. Trump-Vance.
I was getting texts while I was in church. My church has guards, but I'm not sure they're armed, but I can tell you that many people that I know there are. This has become a reality of being...
Yeah, the leftists.
In these areas, apparently. Now, people are saying this picture is fake. Everybody's reporting about the 2 American flags. I'm thinking there was an initial report that he went through the front doors, but maybe that was wrong. And he came through the front doors and this was the truck. I think they could be, I think it's more than likely that picture is real.
Is the post obvious ob in history? But they still had folds in them. This one of being a lefty trying to frame the right. Look at him. He's pre-cope. The way these people's minds fucking just go towards the fakest shit they can think of. Dude, Donald Trump has ruined these people's brains forever.
But this is obviously an op.
Obviously. It's got to be an op. There's just no way that it's always been our fault.
Trying to frame.
This is over an hour outside Detroit, but they act like it's downtown. Oh, yeah, you would have to literally drive for an hour down the highway to get to Detroit from there. From Grand Blanc? Yeah.
Somebody on the right, would you have two? Like, right-wingers don't attack churches. That's not...
Right-wingers don't attack churches. Yeah, they fucking do. They do all the time.
That's not what white-wingers do.
White-wingers? Yeah, they do.
Wingers, I mean, if it was an abortion clinic or something like that, maybe you could say that.
Libs of TikTok says, oh, it's happening. And then it turns out to be a MAGA guy.
Or you just do like I do with mental health. Ignore it.
Dylan Roof is famous for. There you go. Literally, Donald Trump's shooter is a right-winger. Charlie Kirk's. They're all right-wingers, man.
But right now is one of the scariest times in the world in the history to be in these, my lifetime, to be in large gatherings. This says, so the full toll is unknown, but hundreds of worshipers were inside. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Because of your gun laws, or lack of them.
During the incident, and horrifying pictures show the entire structure engulfed, so he must have had some other explosive device with him that he also detonated. And he police responded, a DNR officer and a local cop responded and dispatched him in a firefight, which is great. But we can't have any more soft targets. If you go to church regularly, you need to ask them what their security plan is. And if they don't have one, they should have one.
Jeremy goes up to the church that he just joined and goes, "What's your fucking security plan? Do you guys have guns? Everybody bring guns into the church. White guys never kill anybody with guns." Just a freak.
And every church should have armed parishioners, armed guards. It's the reality. Everybody in the church should be armed, and then these attacks would stop.
The guy that wanted to die would stop attacking.
Churchgoers reportedly heard a loud bang as
Every church is now Waco, yeah.
the attacker crashed
The way we
his truck into
should
the church.
operate.
At first, we thought somebody had accidentally crashed into the church, so we went out to help him. The man told the TV station. Dramatic aerial footage showed, so it looks like, I think that picture is probably real. I just don't think it was in the front door, as was originally reported. Nick Sorter has also reported, an IED had just been pulled from the truck at the Michigan church, where it was already on fire per the scanner traffic. So this is probably the truck, and he probably just crashed on the side of the building to start a commotion. The other interesting thing in here is that both doors are open. Now maybe
Because
somebody searched
they
the
just
vehicle,
said they
and that's
tried
why
to help him.
the doors were open. Was there two people? I don't know yet.
just said.
We know based on reports in
Of course. Because that's what helps in an active shooting scenario. Untrained weirdos with handguns firing where they think the shooter is. Yes, that's always helped.
inside that there was only one shooter, but was there another person behind left in the truck?
Oh my God.
A lot of people arguing, well, Mormonism isn't Christianity, but they believe in Jesus. I'm not going to nitpick it.
He doesn't know anything about anything. He's just the least informed motherfucker on the platform. Just malignant, man.
Donald Trump responding, I've been briefed about the horrendous incident that took place at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc, Michigan. The FBI was immediately on the scene and will be leading a federal investigation, providing full support to the state and local officials. The suspect is gone, but there's still a lot to learn. This appears to be yet another targeted attack on Christians in the United States of America. The Trump administration will keep the public posted. I mean, how about the Trump administration deploy 2 to 3 National Guards people at every church in this country?
Okay. All right, sure. And then you're going to be like, why are we spending all this money? Go ahead. I don't care.
We probably have enough. We probably have enough.
We probably have enough. Okay, I'm going to do some quick maths. How many churches in the USA? There's too many. 400,000. So you're talking about 1.2 million National Guardsmen. How many National Guards are there? There are approximately 430,000 members of the U.S. National Guard. 430,000 National Guard members. You could do one per maybe. I don't think it only counted churches. That was not mosques. That wasn't temples or anything.
I just don't know. You just can't have...
The National Guard can't do anything, okay?
You cannot have these soft targets anymore. We can't have these soft targets anymore.
Okay.
It is very, very scary out there right now.
Because right-wing men with brains that don't fucking work keep shooting people up. I agree, man. Hard targets only. Rock hard targets. It won't be helpful, Risanabe. Dude, he's just dumb as fuck. They just want to throw more guns at it, and it's clearly not the answer. The answer is to prevent the guns from getting into the hands of these people as best you can, and over time, it'll lower the rates of guns and deaths.
And again, this was 2 months ago, a Michigan deacon thwarting attack on the church by ramming his truck into the person who was doing it. If this was the deacon, shout out. Every church should have people, on staff that are ready.
Brian Anthony Browning was grappling with mental health crisis, equipping himself with a tactical vest, a handgun, and a rifle. He started to fire in his Ford F-150 Browning truck. He smashed him.
Defend against.
The Ford dealership gave him a free new truck. Let's go, dude.
These maniacs. This guy's a hero, probably saved dozens of lives.
So it's a shooting at a black church.
Again, this
Go. Jeremy can't even aim and hit the drain in his basement when he pisses. I don't trust him in anywhere in the same country as a gun. Yeah, man.
It says we're still waiting. I know that AI, there's a name getting thrown out there by AI. I don't think it's right. In fact, it looks like they've updated it. They had listed some sort of name, but I don't think that was right. I think it was like the name of the singer of The Cure or something like that. I'm not totally sure.
Thanks, AI.
But right now is a time to pray.
Yeah, pray up. Thoughts and prayers, dude.
Also a time to learn to carry and practice. Don't just carry, practice. Understand where the exits are in the buildings that you're in. It could save your life. It could save the lives of other people. Take 5 minutes when you go to church. Look around. After church one day, just walk around, figure out, okay, well, something.
Yeah, be paranoid. This is the new America we live in. Isn't it so great under Donald Trump? Don't you feel so safe? Isn't everybody better off? Make America great again. More gun violence than ever. Let's go.
Something crazy happens. How do I get out of here? Here's a door, here's a door, here's a door. If that door's blocked, I can go to this door. If this door's blocked, I can go to that door.
I'm worried about right-wing freaks, not left-wing ones. This is their solution. That's right. We just went to a concert with like very loud and vocal Free Palestine chants and like, anti-capitalist and anti-fascist explicitly conversations and stuff. And the thing I was worried about was a fucking Zionist being in there and getting pissed off.
Whatever the case is, you need to understand these things. This is the world we're living in right now. I wish that that wasn't the advice I was giving you. But the other advice would be nonsense and would have no chance of saving your life. Women, you have a purse, bring it to church, you could carry right in. It's depending on
just sneak your gun into church.
Your local laws, right? Men, you obviously know, you have many options as well. But most importantly, too, you got to learn how to get out of these places. When chaos strikes, you got to learn how to get out. And this will not be the last. There are demons.
Wisconsin might have concealed carry
walking among us right now, and they're sowing chaos nearly every single day. And I'm praying for you guys, and
they're sowing chaos every day. I agree.
I will update you as soon as I have more information. Yes, I won't be taking the day off, but make sure you subscribe.
Subscribe immediately. Subscribe immediately right now for the #1 news source in reading the news. Another right-winger. He hasn't made an update video? That's crazy. I can't believe he hasn't made an update video. Another Charlie Kirk bombshell? Not getting many views on that now. Charlie Kirk assassin CIA. Candace Owens talks to Kirk's assassins. ICE starts cracking skulls. Why we have black fatigue. Mass shooting by psycho. Church mass shooting. Demons walk among us. Another right-wing mass shooter. God, he just, look at all of this. Racist as fuck. That he puts his fucking name to this. Crazy. Mormons don't allow guns on property? Well, Jeremy says they have to. Grifter, bro.